Hey there, welcome to chemistry. So if you're watching this, you're probably in my general chemistry class and you're taking it online. So you're not able to just hand me your recitation assignments. You need to upload them into Brightspace. So one of the things that I've learned since beginning this is that there are ways that students can upload assignments to Brightspace that makes my ability to grade them very streamlined. And then on the other side completely is that there are ways that students can upload things to Brightspace where I cannot open them at all. Okay, so I'm going to be creating this here and so that you know how to create the ideal document to upload into Brightspace for your assignment so that I can grade it in Brightspace. So you can see I've opened a Google Doc right here, and that's one method of doing it. This is all going to be done on a PC. So there's one thing you need to know here. So I'm going to kind of work through this. You can see how that's done. So my title here, how to create PDF files to upload to Brightspace. I'll go over here and I'll call this, we'll call this test one, just my test. Okay, and so a few interesting things here. First of all, this is in center, so I'm going to click here, and now I've aligned it over here, and I'll go ahead and bring this back down to a more manageable font. And some important things are, one of the reasons this is really important is that I'm working on a PC, not a Mac, and here's an interesting thing. PCs will not open Mac or Apple files. So if you are working in Pages or you're working in a Mac for whatever their image is, not a JPEG or a PDF, but they have their own, and you upload that to Brightspace, if your teachers aren't commenting on it, it's because they're also on a Mac. So any teacher that is working with PCs or Androids, they cannot open Mac files. Okay, so now let's just, I'm creating this just as we go along. So first of all, let's take a look. Here you can see recitation chapter 1. Yours might look a little bit different because this is my instructor version. But you'll see that for every recitation assignment, here we have this first one, and this is going to be a .pdf file, and this one is a .doc file. Okay, so there's two ways that you can do this. First, you can go ahead and click on this PDF, and it'll open it right here. And then from here, if you wanted to, you could print it and then you could fill it out by hand. Another option is you could click here on the .doc and download it. And you can see actually that I've already downloaded it here. But you can click save, and then here it is at the bottom, and then you can open it up. And now it's opening it in Word, and you'll need to choose enable editing. And then you could edit it right here. So let's say that you wanted to write the answer here. Well, one good way to do that would be to come over here, and maybe if you're entering this, to just change the color so that I know where your answers are. And you could write, this one is blue, just as an example, but you would write yours, and up here you put the date and your name. Okay, now from here, let's go ahead and save it as a PDF. Okay, so the reason for that is that if you'll notice in here, we have some special characters. We have a pi button here. You'll notice that this is in scientific notation. Sometimes I had an issue with students when they would upload a docx or a Google Docs, when you have math in here or down in here, you'll see that we have an equation. Sometimes when you upload a docx directly into Brightspace, it'll lose some of that formatting. So let's say that you've answered this entire recitation assignment here and you want to create a file that you can upload. Well, from here, if you've done all of your work in here, and you can, for example, down here then, where I'm asking you to type in your answers, okay? So you'll need to use this format here for typing this in, and you can type this in as you see here, or you can come up to insert and you can, oh, just moving things around my screen. You can come up here to insert and then you can insert an equation. Okay. And then there we go. Anyway, so you can change this, and for some reason it's not allowing me to work through that. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can get it to, let's try that again. Equation. There we go. So there's some different equations here. The computer I'm working on isn't a great one, my work computer. I usually do my equation on my desktop that has a better Office software on it. But you could also type in the answer sort of like this, 12, let's say, okay, I don't know, we're going from inches, 56 inches times, oh, well, this would be, if we were converting from inches to feet, then you would have 1 foot on the top divided by 12 inches and equals, and then the answer. Okay, so now we'll say that we've worked through this, we've answered everything, we've shown all of our work. And again, this is just one way to do it. Okay. Then we're going to go to File and then choose Export and PDF. Now it will PDF what we're working on here. Okay. Now you could give it a beginning one. Maybe you could say recitation chapter 1 OpenStax. And now let's call it submission 1. Because then I can see very easily which one you've submitted. And publish. And there it is. All right. And then you can, I just put it on the desktop for the moment, but you would probably put it somewhere simple. Okay. And then you could upload that file into the assignment upload. Now let's take a look at what happens when we have another option here. All right. So let's say that we want to use Google Docs. Okay. We want to use Google Docs because instead of working on the computer, which a lot of people hate working on a computer for math, what we've done is we've done it on a piece of paper. And this is actually just a piece of paper where I was making some notes for a lab that I was working on. Okay. And you can either print out the PDF file of the assignment and then fill it in. And that's a great way. Then you have that there, but maybe you're working from home and you don't have access to a printer, and that is totally fine. Then what you can do is you can just do it by hand. Okay. And then take a picture of it on your phone. Okay. And then here I have my file opened in Brightspace, and I have test 1 here, but you would call it something like recitation chapter 1 and chapter 1, and we'll call it again submission 1. Okay, because you're allowed to submit your recitations more than once. I will make notes on it and you can fix it and resubmit it basically until it's all correct. There's no reason not to get 100% on all of your recitations, because as long as you get them in early enough, I will grade them and hand them back to you, and you can submit them again with your corrections. Also, students that do that do tend to do significantly better on the tests because they know exactly what they're looking for going into it. Okay, so now here we are, and I want to insert a picture. Now, yes, in Brightspace, it will allow you to upload a picture directly from your phone to submit it. Please don't do that, mainly because the assignment has 3 or 4 pages. Students will upload 4, 5, 6 pages. It often comes to me upside down. It comes to me on the side. It comes to me so small that I can't really see it. And it takes me 5 times as long to grade a single assignment, which is why I require them to be in this PDF format like I'm showing you now, mainly because then I'm not irritated by the time I actually grade it, which is good for you. Okay, so I say insert an image. Okay, we're going to upload it from the computer in this case. Okay, so I come down here to my phone. And I'm clicking through here until I get to the camera files. Now I can scroll down to where I know my camera files are. And I know I took a picture of my paper with my lab stuff on it, and it's right here. Okay, now this was pretty good, but sometimes it'll be sideways. Okay, let's say that this came and it was sideways, and what you need to do is you need to rotate it. Okay, so now as you can see here, this image is up and down. Okay, so the image needs to be straight up and down. Okay, if it comes to me and it's actually, let me see if I can get it to, I'm looking. Nope. Usually I don't work in Google Docs. Usually I work in Word. But you can see here, for example, it's not on the first page. And let's get it onto the first page. There. And now here I have it on the second page. Okay, so here it is. And this one's not real clear. If your image looks like this, I would really like you to take another picture of it so that it's a little bit more clear and I can actually read it, because this is a little bit difficult to read. But let's see if we can fix it up a little bit. Here we have image options. Okay, so now in image options, see how you have size and rotation? Okay, this is where if this didn't come up and down, like let's say it's sideways or it's upside down, I will ask you, you come here in size and rotation, and you're gonna rotate it. And you just rotate it with this button. And that's how you can turn it around until, and just keep clicking it until it is the way you want it to be. Now it's sideways. I don't want that. Okay, now you got to find out. There we are. We're straight up and down again. Okay. Now it's not real clear. So let's see. One of the things that maybe we can do is we can make some adjustments. And you can see here, they've got transparency, and we don't want that. Okay, let's take a look at some more. We've got brightness. Oh, well, that's too bright. That's darker. Yeah, okay. So sometimes brightening it up makes it easier to see. All right, and now let's see what happens. Oh, that's too much contrast. Okay, so you can play around with this. Sometimes this will help if you're working in Word. There's a few more options to sharpen things up or something. But anyway, I need to be able to read it easily. Okay, now from here, because I don't want them submitted with this, again, if there's formatting in Google Docs, it won't show up. If you're in Google Docs, then you can say, okay, go to File, and then we'll go to Download and choose PDF. Okay, and I'm going to put that right here on the, I'll just put it on my desktop so that I can get to it. Okay, so now here I've worked through that, and now I have, you can see here, where your recitations are. Here's a PDF of this, here's another one. And these are just some different things that I've done. Now, another option is that you're working in Word. I'm just going to tell it not to save these old ones. Now, actually, let's say that you're working in Word, and here's another option. Okay, you could do some of these here. And then let's say that what you wanted to do is you wanted to upload something right into here, say. Okay. This, you only want to do this one. So then you can choose, move things around my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, again, you could choose insert and picture. And it's on my phone. This setup may be different for you. Sorry, trying to find out what I'm looking for. Okay, here we are. Okay. Sorry about that. Clearly it's not going to work. Okay, that's okay. But you could insert your picture, and I think it's just not working because of the firewall on this computer. Okay, anyway, you could insert it here as well into that, and then work through the process of PDFing it. I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.